Okay guys, I just downloaded Cinebench R23 from the Windows Marketplace, and we're going to do our first synthetic benchmark test with the Cinebench R23 because I've been watching a few videos. I just finished watching, actually I'm watching this video here on the MSI GP66 2022 review fast test RTX 3070 Ti gaming laptop from Jared's Tech. If the MSI GP66 2022 version with the 3070 Ti is the fastest 3070 Ti gaming laptop on Jared's Tech, let's see how fast my Alienware is compared to that based off of benchmarks. Now, if we go to Alien Effects, yeah, here we go. See, thermal balanced, power balanced mode. So that's where I'm at. There's two tests here, one for multi-core and single core. So let's just do multi-core first. If you guys don't know, right now it's not overclocked or anything. Like I said, everything is in balanced mode. Basically, what you get out of the box when you first power up your laptop, or in this case, the Alienware laptop, my Alienware laptop. And I just saw this. I don't know what this is. My specs, like I said, CPU, Intel Core i7 12700H. The GPU is an RTX 3070 Ti. I have 16 gigs of DDR5 4800 megahertz RAM, which I hope to upgrade in the future to something faster when DDR5 is more readily available and less expensive. And I have a 1 terabyte Gen 4, I believe it's an Intel SSD drive. So those are the specs. And I don't know how long this test is going to take, but I'm going to probably pause it here and then come back to when the test is completed. Actually, while this test is still going, let's talk about things that I have experienced so far with my computer as far as like performance and day-to-day usage. So far so good. I think I've gotten like 3 what do they call those, system updates from Windows since I've gotten this laptop, about like almost a month now. And in that time I've had already 3 Windows updates, and the last 2 updates were a pain in the butt because every time I had to go through that re-registration process again, you know, where it's like you have a brand new computer you're setting up and everything like that. So I had to redo the accept the licenses, or like re-sign in to, I kind of hated that, redoing the signing into your Microsoft account or something like that if you logged into a Microsoft account. And other than that, those 2 or 3 major updates or system updates from Windows. I also got a few, well, one firmware update for the Intel wireless drivers. As far as like system stability, it's been pretty stable. The only time I've gotten a freeze is when I was using the built-in movie and video app from Windows. I don't know if it's still called Windows Media or whatever it's called now. Actually, there's like 2 from Windows. One is Windows Media, like the old one that came with your old, like Windows 8 or 10. And then the other one is like the new Windows movie player or media player. And every time I would get it like a crash is when I would switch from the laptop screen to the QN90A that it's plugged into. When I would move the video onto the bigger screen, I would get a freeze every now and then, and I couldn't do a soft reset. You know how you hit the Control-Alt-Delete? Control-Alt-Delete, I don't know if it works on this laptop, so I always had to do a hard reset where I would have to press that Alienware head right there, power button, do a long press on it so it could restart. So that's the only issues I've had is for like freezes, is when I was using the Windows built-in movie media player. But since then I switched to VLC media player that I use on most of my devices, like my Android tablets, my Linux desktop, and my regular desktop. I'll use VLC media player, and since I switched to media player, I haven't had those issues, even when going back and forth from like that screen on the Alienware to the this screen on the Samsung QN90A. So the test is still going. To keep this video from getting too long, I'm going to pause this and we'll come back when it completes. Hey, I think it's done. The fans are not spinning as loudly. So let's check it out. First of all, I just wanted to tell you guys that on normal usage, when I'm like not really doing much of anything except for maybe reading emails and stuff like that, watching a YouTube video here and there, the laptop is pretty quiet. It's pretty silent in balance mode. The fans that you will be hearing though is underneath this laptop. I have a laptop cooler that blows air out, as you can see right underneath here. So the laptop cooling pad is actually louder than the actual laptop itself when the laptop isn't really working too hard or under heavy use. Okay, so let's check out our Cinebench score. Our multi-core score on this first run, and this is on balance mode, is 13,294 points, and that puts it in 4th place behind an AMD Ryzen Threadripper 1950X 16 core, a 24 core Intel Xeon, and a 32 core AMD Ryzen Threadripper. And I'm pretty sure those are desktop processors, especially an Intel Xeon and a Threadripper. So the fact that this is on a mobile, if you could call it that, a mobile processor in the Intel Core i7 12700H is pretty good. Okay, now let's start the single core test. I don't have anything closed as far as like, so I have all these windows still open from Chrome, and I have 2 Windows Explorer tabs open that I didn't close when I decided to run the test, or when I opened it. And I probably have the Windows Marketplace open. Yep, Windows Microsoft Store is open while this test is being run. So there you go. And now we are doing the Cinebench R23 single core test. I don't know how long this is going to take, but considering the multi-core took a little over 5 minutes, I'm going to say this will probably take as much. So we're going to pause here and then come back when the test completes. Alright, so there it is. What do we have for single core? We have 1,653 points. And it says we are at number 1 in the CPU ranking. I don't know why it says Windows 10 64-bit, because I am on Windows 11. Yeah, that's kind of weird. But so there you go. My laptop is number 1 on this test. So for reference, here is a Cinebench score on the MSI GP66 from Jared's Tech, both for multi-core and single core, and same exact processor, same exact GPU. Only difference between these two is that the GP66 is using DDR4, and but it's probably the faster DDR4, while my Alienware M15 R7 is using DDR5 4800 megahertz, but it's the slower type of DDR5. Okay, here's another benchmark. We're going to run PC Mark, and then after PC Mark, we'll run 3D Mark. And man, PC Mark and 3D Mark are both pretty big download files. I think PC Mark 10 is like over 2 gigabytes, and 3D Mark is like a little over 7 gigabytes. So If you're gonna download these apps or benchmark tests, make sure you have a fast internet connection, or at least pretty decently fast internet connection. So there you go. The test is now starting. I will show you guys the results of the test right after it completes. So you guys are aware, I'm still on the default balanced settings for this benchmark. I'm not really sure as far as like the wattage goes where it is at on balanced settings, or the clock speed. I guess I should check, shouldn't I? Let's see. We'll go to Fusion. And so the CPU frequency, it's going from anywhere from 2.02 to like, it looks like all the way up to 4.19. And the RTX 3070 Ti right there in the middle is anywhere from like around the low 200s to just in the 200s. And the DRAM frequency is at its 4800 megahertz frequency at most of the times. So there you go. Okay, here we are, just completed, and it looks like we are at 7,202. So there you go. Essentials 9,850, productivity 9,553, and then digital content creation got a score of 10,773, and that was for PC Mark 10. It's telling me to update, but I'm not going to try to update, at least not right now. Okay, let's install and run another test. 3D Mark. Okay, I just got 3D Mark installed. This is the free version, so I think the only thing I can run is what's right here in orange, and that is Time Spy. And if I want to run the other benchmarks for 3D Mark, I'll probably have to pay for them, which I really don't want to right now. And it was trying to get me to install them through Steam. I had to find a different download, I think through Guru 3D's website, to download this free version. And like I said, it was a big download. It was like 7 gigabytes to download the file. So let's run it, and here we go. And see, down here it's telling me an update is so I don't really have the latest, so I guess I'm gonna have to sometime in the future update it to the latest one. But for now, we'll just do whatever version this is. So there you go. Well, what's going on? It's playing on my it's playing on my QN90A. I thought it would be playing on the Alienware monitor, but it's playing on the QN90A's monitor. So now I'm not sure if it's going to be slower. I want to say it's going to be slower only because the QN90A is a 4K monitor. Well, this is a 1440p monitor. This is a 2160p monitor, but we'll find out when it finishes what resolution it was running it at. So far, though, it looks pretty smooth. It didn't even give me the option of what display I wanted to play it on. Okay, it's back on this one. Alright, so it didn't even give me the option to see which monitor I wanted to play this benchmark at. But you guys have seen so far what it can do. Curiosity, here are the frame rates down below. Frames per second, frame time on some of these. It's okay, I guess one was a GPU test, the other one was a CPU test. And here is the frames per second with the CPU. Again, I'm still at balanced settings, which is the default settings for the for this Alienware M15 out of the box, as you guys can see right there. Okay, we have reached the completion, and the score is 11,537. The graphics score was 11,513, and the CPU score is 11,677. So take that for what you will. Okay, I think I just installed Geekbench. Let's run the benchmark. CPU benchmark and compute benchmark. Let's do the CPU benchmark first. Okay, I guess the benchmark just completed and it popped up on the browser. So there you go, Alienware M15 R7. Single core is 1,692. And the multi-core is 11,422. So there is the score for Geekbench 5. Now let's see if we can do the compute test benchmark for Geekbench 5. So this test was a little bit faster. We got 123,262 in the compute test OpenCL score. So that is that. CPU information. There you go, OpenCL performance. And there it is. Okay, so here is the last benchmark for the day. This is a Crystal Disk Mark 8.04 x64, and as you can see, it is my C drive, and that's the one that came with the Alienware 1 gigabyte. I don't know if this is 59% used of 1 gig or of 934 gigabytes, or is it 59% remaining? I don't know, but there's your scores, as you can see. Take that for what you will. And again, I am on the default balanced power mode or thermal power mode, whatever. This is out of the box settings for the Alienware M15 R7. And like I said, those are your scores right there. Like, I don't have all the equipment, and I haven't paid for any licenses for any of these benchmark tests. So benchmarking, synthetic benchmarks and stuff like that are not my thing. Basically, I like to just test the speed of the laptop or the computer or desktop itself just by what I do for my everyday task. What I'm going to be relying on this laptop the most is for video editing. So let's take a look at those results so you guys can see how good it is at video editing with Vinci Resolve, because that's what I use instead of Adobe Photoshop or Adobe Premiere or something like that. I use Vinci Resolve because I think it's a much better and more easier for me to learn video editing software than Adobe Premiere. So let's take a look at some of my results from using this new laptop with video editing in Vinci Resolve. Okay, so here's a short clip of the very first video editing project I'd done with Vinci Resolve on this Alienware M15 R7, and that was the unboxing of the laptop itself. And in a moment, I'll let you guys hear the fan noise and how they sound. And so, yeah, this is a 26-minute, and I think it was over 26-minute video clip. And you guys will see how fast it completed that clip. And so we will end the video on this. And after this clip, we'll play another video with just a laptop, how it sounds when it's in idle. And that will conclude the this part 1 video portion of the performance for the Alienware M15 R7. Stay tuned for part 2 coming up really soon. And this is how my Alienware M15 R7 sounds like when it's at idle and I'm not doing anything or barely doing anything. I just completed my editing task right here, where I edited this video on the Alienware M15 unboxing, which is a 26-minute and 9-second video, and I completed the task in 11 minutes and 39 seconds. So that's pretty much, without even comparing it with my desktop, it's probably going to be faster than my desktop. Just by pure guess and not even running the same test, it seems like it's going to be faster, because on my desktop, if it's a 26-minute long video like that, it'll take almost as long to render. Whereas on now this new 12th gen Intel processors with the GeForce RTX, it's taken me 11 minutes and 39 seconds. And yeah, and the laptop right now, as you can see, is pretty quiet. It's not that noisy when it's at idle. Put it close to the fans where the intakes are, so you guys can get a good idea if it's noisy or not. And so if you guys haven't already, please like and subscribe. Follow me on Instagram at The Workout Geek for all my latest happenings and great workout tips. Till next time, take care, stay safe, stay healthy, and have a wonderful day.